Here was Cabinet Minister in the Albanese government, Murray Watt, speaking on Israel's plan. This was just a short time ago.
The Albanese government strongly opposes the suggestion of forced occupation of Gaza or displacement of the Palestinian people from Gaza. We do not believe that those steps would be in the interests of finding the peace in that area that I think all Australians want to see happen. Of course, our position is that we want to see an immediate ceasefire. We want to see the release of hostages and any steps that are taken which endanger a ceasefire or a long-term peace are not in the interests of Israel or the Palestinian people.
That's Cabinet Minister Murray Watt. Let's bring in the Shadow Foreign Minister, Michaelia Cash. You've heard what he's had to say in the government. Penny Wong says Israel should not go down this path. That's what the federal government has said, that it's going to worsen the humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza. What does the opposition say?
Well, let's be very clear. The operational tactics and how this war is conducted on the ground to bring it to an end is ultimately a matter for the Israeli government. Let's not forget either, Kieran, that the Israelis are in the situation today, A, because Hamas started this war, but even since that time, since October the 7th, 2023, Hamas has refused to properly participate in the peace negotiations. I mean, most recently, the peace discussions or the ceasefire discussions in Doha have come to an end because, yet again, Hamas refuses to participate. But what are we all very, very clear on? We all want the war to end. We all want the killing of civilians to stop. We all want the hostages to be released. But that could actually happen tomorrow. And I think what disturbs me more than anything is that so many now, but in particular, Penny Wong, number one, as the offender, they skip over this important detail. This war could end tomorrow if Hamas released the hostages and laid down their arms.
This is an argument, obviously, that many in Israel and beyond have made.
Yep.
But there are many representatives of the families whose hostages remain in the tunnels of Gaza City who have a similar view to Penny Wong. They don't want this escalation.
I can't begin to imagine what they are going through. Civilians on both sides being killed. None of us here in the luxury of Canberra or Australia. In all honesty, Kieran, we can be commentators, but on the ground, what we don't know is really what's going on. But what we do know
they don't want the escalation either. So that's the thing.
Ultimately, though, this is a matter, as I said, the operational tactics, the way this war is conducted on the ground, that is a matter for the Israeli government.
Do you support it, though?
Israel must at all times, I'm a huge believer, comply with international law. But I do have the same ultimate goal, and I would hope that all Australians, including Penny Wong and Anthony Albanese, Hamas is a terrorist organisation dedicated to the destruction of Israel. What does that mean? It means that in Hamas's view, nothing can go forward until every Israeli is dead. That happens to be a fact, Kieran, that people seem to gloss over. Israel has, over the decades, put forward two-state solutions. They have offered Palestine a state of its own, but it has been rejected time and time again. Israel is committed, ultimately, they need to be, to living side by side. Kieran, when I lived there, a long, long time ago now, I used to regularly go into the West Bank because you could. So I'd go into Hebron. I had Palestinian friends. I had Jewish friends. Can I tell you that as a young 23-year-old, when I finally did leave Israel, what's the one thing that's always stayed with me? That when you talk to the average Australian and the average Palestinian, what do they want? They want peace. But when you have a group of terrorists running the Gaza Strip, whose own charter, slightly updated, says they are dedicated to the destruction of Israel, which means they will slaughter every single Israeli. Hamas must put down its arms and release the hostages.
This other story, before you go, I want to ask you about a visa reportedly granted to an individual but who remains not offshore.
Well, she shouldn't be coming anywhere near Australia.
What do you say to this? The government says it is taking it seriously.
They are
reported in the Herald Sun, and they are going to have the department report back as soon as possible. Yeah,
they are weak, they are hopeless. Tony Burke, quite frankly, if the visa is not cancelled today, should step aside. He should resign. And if Mr Albanese doesn't insist on Tony Burke cancelling that visa today, well, that says a lot about Albanese's priorities. This is a woman who has praised the slaughter of mums and children via Hamas. Let me be very clear. I stand with Andrew Hastie on this. If you support the slaughter by Hamas of innocent women and children and men, you don't come anywhere near this country. And quite frankly, shame on Tony Burke, but even more so as the Prime Minister of this country. You're now aware of this, Anthony Albanese. What are you doing? That woman should come nowhere near this country. But I also want an investigation into how the department were in the first place even able to grant a visa to a Hamas terrorist supporter.
Michaelia Cash, we appreciate your time.
Great to be with you.